Hey everyone, my name is Valentino and welcome to my channel. So 2 days ago it was the Super Bowl and luckily the ratings weren't as good as they have been for the past, how many years? 10 years? I think the ratings were as low as it has been since 2009. So apparently a lot of us still were protesting, hashtag yay us, but I ended up attending a party. I did end up watching some of the Super Bowl. I left early. I was only there for the shots pretty much and for the company. There were people that I was happy to see. Now that it has been a few days since the Super Bowl, I feel like the biggest topic that I'm seeing is the fact that Adam Levine ended up being shirtless during his halftime performance. Yesterday, when the headlines came out, they were more so just like, that was like the highlight of the show. Apparently the show wasn't that good and the highlight was, oh, Adam Levine is shirtless. And I didn't see much of the backlash yesterday. I just saw a lot of, headlines saying that he was shirtless and then the SpongeBob like tribute or whatever. When I ended up checking the performance, honestly, I wasn't interested. I watched it on YouTube, I started the clip, I fast forwarded to the SpongeBob part, and then when, what's his name? Travis, he started his rap thing or whatever, I skipped to Adam Levine being shirtless, and of course he was performing the Moves Like Mick Jagger song, and of course whenever he does that song he does it shirtless. From what I saw, I didn't even watch that whole bit, but from what I saw the vocals were not there. I don't know if because at that point he was shirtless and he was trying to look good shirtless, so he wasn't really working on breathing and actually, like singing. But at that point, I don't know, the performance wasn't really all that to me. But fast forward to today, everybody is more so talking about why is Adam Levine allowed to be shirtless, whereas Janet Jackson, was it 15 years ago? Justin Timberlake ripped her garment and exposed her nipple and she was pretty much blackballed. A bunch of things happened to Janet Jackson after her nip slip or wardrobe malfunction in her case. CBS was apparently fined $550,000 by the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. She received less spins on the radio. She received less spins on MTV, which back then MTV music videos like debuted on MTV back then, and like that used to be the thing. Kids used to sit home, watch MTV, the VH1, like those were just music stuff. But upon that, she lost sponsorship deals. She was like basically not bookable after that. Nobody wanted to touch Janet Jackson for a good few years until she started starring in those Tyler Perry movies, to be honest. And now, I kind of get where people are coming from. Like, why wasn't Adam Levine fined? He showed 2 nipples. I was just talking to my friend about the situation and he was like, well, so what? He's shirtless on stage, like everybody's shirtless on stage. He's a gay man. I just think a breast is a breast and I'd feel no different. But then I was like, okay, so what if Cardi B were to perform with Maroon 5 and she was also on stage, boobs out, no shirt, no bra, nothing, just topless, and his face dropped. He was like, and I'm like, but you just said a breast is a breast and you feel no type of way. And he's like, well, she can't just be out there with her titties just out like that. And I'm like, but you just said a breast is a breast and it makes no difference. And I feel like it doesn't make a difference, but at the end of the day, majority of women don't really want to see another woman's big old boobs out in their face. So now the hashtag free nipple movement is kind of coming back full throttle and people are questioning why Adam Levine is able to be up there on the Super Bowl and shirtless. And then that trickles down to regular people in regular life. Why can't women walk around shirtless as men can? So I decided to do a little bit of research and I wanted to find out, was it a time where men weren't able to be shirtless either? And I found out that sure enough, there was a time where men were not able to be shirtless. in the 30s, in the mid-30s, actors like Clark Gable and somebody else they said in the article, I can't remember right now, they were on the big screen topless. That trickled down and translated to swimming. Now before, apparently men had to like pretty much cover up. I'll show a picture here, and these are some men rebelling by, you know, doing that little nip slip. Men off screen and going to beaches, specifically in New York City, they would go topless and they would get fined. Now that makes me kind of think that this was all just a situation of the government trying to make money and get money from the people any way that they can. So after so many people refusing to pay fines and then taking, you know, the government to court to get the fines overturned and the law overturned, in 1937, the New York City's ban for shirtless men was overturned. So you are able to go around shirtless in most areas as a man. Of course, that news brought a lot of attention, and nationwide, men began to go bare-chested to the beach and, you know, running down the street and all that, with the exception of gay men. So if the police were to go by and see that you were shirtless and you appeared to be gay, then they can arrest and fine you. And of course, that stayed for some time. And apparently that was definitely the case, because in parks where there were married couples of men, you know, being shirtless, the police wouldn't go after them, but if it was, you know, multiple guys in a group or just guys by themselves that appeared to be gay and shirtless, they would arrest and fine them. So fast forward to now, women being shirtless in public is a lot more legal than you would think. Apparently, legally, female toplessness in public isn't forbidden in but 3 states: Utah, Indiana, and Tennessee. So other than that, pretty much free reign. You can be shirtless as a woman and walk around. The exception with community guidelines. So apparently, like, if there is a smaller community that has like a school district or a lot of neighborhood homes or whatnot, then female nudity is classified a little bit different, and they can fine you within those areas for being without a shirt. But as for it legally being a thing, it's not really a thing. And I think that's really good. But if that's the case, then there wouldn't really be a free nipples movement. So I decided to pretty much contact almost every girl that I have, you know, a good relationship. I have a good relationship with, you know, quite a few women. Most of my friends are women. And I sent them this message. Hey, I have a quick question. I know you don't speak for all women, but before I do this video talking about Adam Levine being shirtless and accepted while Janet Jackson was blackballed while showing one nipple, how do you feel about women not being socially accepted being shirtless in public as men are? Also, how do you feel when you see a shirtless man in public? And the responses varied. We went from people being like full on here for the cause to people really not giving a fuck. Honestly, haven't read through all the responses, but I'm just gonna read some of them now and just talk about how I feel with how these women are feeling.
I think it would be weird as a woman to see other women shirtless on the street. Our anatomy is totally different than men. In my opinion, it's way more sensual to see a woman's breast than a man's pecs.
I do understand that, and I feel like that's a big reason on why women being shirtless isn't socially accepted, because honestly, I feel like most men probably will like to see some women shirtless, but the reality is most women don't want to see another woman shirtless, whereas men don't mind seeing another man shirtless. Even like if he's straight, like a man being shirtless is just whatever. Whereas if he's gay, you know, a man being shirtless could be like everything.
I definitely don't like the vilification of shirtless women and the double standard. I think shirtless men in public is inappropriate depending on the setting. The mall, no. The beach, yes. I think that all bodies can be objectified and sexualized, and it's more on the viewer for doing the objectifying and sexualizing, not the person who is shirtless. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, girl, you actually do make a lot of sense. I feel like that's basically what I just said. Like, it's more about who is looking, and if you are walking around shirtless, I feel like as a man or a woman, you cannot be upset if people look at you. And I mean, that's just how it is. If you are bold enough to walk around shirtless, then you have to be bold enough to sit there and take people looking at you, because whether you like it or not, people might stare more if you are shirtless, whether you're a man or a woman. I mean, obviously, if a woman were to walk down the street just topless, it would draw some attention. Okay, so this person is definitely here for the free nipples movement. She said,
"It's bullshit. I would love to walk around with my boobs out. I've always found it really weird that men can show their nipples, go shirtless, and women is not acceptable. I don't mind seeing shirtless men in public, but I do think it should be equal. And yeah, why is it so okay for men to expose so much skin, but for women, it's slutty? Hashtag free the nipple." And also, I'm fucking women have to wear a bra.
That's just, I mean, that's everything. I feel like if I were a woman, it'd be like, who was that child? She protested and freed her nipple and walked down the streets of New York City topless. And if I were a woman, I'd walk around topless too. Every time I go to the beach, I'd be topless. I think it should be equal, but I don't know if she realizes this, but I mean, I don't get offended. Like, even when I'm wearing a shirt, a lot of times women will stare at my chest or stare at my arms, and I'm not really offended. I don't really care if like they view me as a piece of meat or whatever. It's not really offensive to me. But I feel like with women, if they were, you know, out there and men were just always staring at them, they'd be uncomfortable with that. So I feel like if you are here for free the nipple, then you also have to be here for that attention that you'll get, or maybe even want that attention. But I don't think women should be viewed as quote unquote slutty just because she likes to show a lot of skin or she's free with her sexuality, because I'm pretty much a nudist. Like, I do not like to wear clothes, and if I were a woman, I feel like I'd probably be the same way. Like, as soon as I would get home, I take off everything. I'd be one of those bitches that never wore a bra. Like, so what? You see my nipples and what? So this person said,
"I don't care, LOL. I feel like if I wanted, I could be shirtless."
So then again, somebody that doesn't really want to be shirtless, but if they wanted to, they feel like they could be. And this person said,
"I think it's not fair about the comparison between Adam and Janet. Like, how is it okay for him to just do it because he's a man? That's so annoying. As for shirtless men, I usually see them on the beach, which doesn't bother me. But if it was just at the mall or at the bus, that would be questionable."
Women's bodies are judged more and women's bodies are sexualized more. And I feel like that also comes from a place where I think men in general are more sexual than women are. Because, I mean, for me personally, I feel like I'm here for the shirtless men. Well, typically, like, my type of guy isn't comfortable being shirtless, but when there is that one that is comfortable, I am here for it, bitch. Like, for real. But some women aren't like that. Like my friend said, at the beach, yeah, but at the mall, no. But if I saw a guy shirtless at the mall, I'd be like, oh, look at that little cute little piece of eye candy real quick, and then move on about my day. But, you know, for her, she's like, no. She said,
"Honestly, I don't really care. I might have an unpopular opinion on things in terms to things involving gender, but we have different parts, i.e. breasts, which you don't want to expose to your thing. I think most women wouldn't want to walk around with their breasts exposed. I think even having the argument of why women can't have their shirts off too is false equivalency."
And I kind of agree. I feel like most women don't want to walk around shirtless, so it's not even a question. But the women that do want to would be looked down upon not only by men and everyone else, but also women. So that's the worst part. As far as how I feel
about seeing a random shirtless man in public, if he's in shape, not so bad. If he's got a couple ties around his waist and sagging, then yeah, I would feel disgusted.
See, I'm with the opposite. I'd rather see the guy who's out of shape and got those tires. First of all, I feel like I can't speak for this movement because I'm not a part of it. Obviously, I do all my videos shirtless, so I can't really understand or relate how women feel when they're shamed for trying to walk around shirtless or whatnot. But overall, for this movement to grow legs, women have to get on the same page with each other and make it okay to see each other shirtless. Because for men, like if a man sees another man shirtless, it's kind of just like whatever. Like if he's not into that, he's not gonna look. Or if he is like, dang, like I want that body, then he's gonna look, but it's not really a thing. If women got on that page, it would probably be easier for the men to also view it like that. But it's a double-edged sword because women also have to be comfortable if men and other women are, you know, staring hard at them for being shirtless and out in public, because some people love that. And I mean, if you don't mind the looks, then there really shouldn't be a big deal. And most places you can't even get arrested for it. So if you want to free that nipple, girl. Comment down below what you guys think. Give this video a thumbs up and make sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the bell next to it to make sure you stay notified every time I post. Oh, that was a mouthful. Woo! Until next time, bye girl. I feel like when this trickles down to the breastfeeding thing, like women can't say free the nipple, right? And then say men should only be shirtless in certain places and then breastfeed their children at like a restaurant and, you know, at the table or whatever. Because it's just like, okay, like I guess your baby needs to eat, but I mean, why wouldn't you pump, or if you know that you're going out to eat, feed your baby before you get into the restaurant? Because if I were to just be sitting at the table at a restaurant and then just like unbutton my shirt and then like have my service dog like lick my nipple, people would stare at me like I'm crazy and I probably would get kicked out of the restaurant. So like, would that be okay?